Hi, Digital Design. So sorry that the previous video did not show all of my mouse clicks. Shame on Loom. So we're going to do this again. All right, so this is where we're going. Okay, this is one of the examples. So I'm going to take you through it again. So in Photoshop, we're going to go File to New. Okay, go ahead and open up Photoshop. However you're there, going to go ahead and go File to New. We'll go ahead and do let's make it pretty large. Let's do like 14 by 8.5. I don't want to do 300. That's a little too many. So I'm going to make sure I do 220. I do want you to get in the habit of using your pull down here and going to transparent. So we're going to do this first to do a transparent and then click create. And then make sure we get our layers panel selected here. We're really going to rely heavily on that layers panel. The first thing I'm going to do is make the background any color, and I'm going to start with black. So I'm going to switch my foreground and background. Remember, these on the bottom left-hand corner are your foreground is in front, your background's in back. If I want them to be default, I can simply click on that little tiny default foreground and background. If I want them to switch, I can just click that two-sided arrow. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to go to my paint bucket and click once. If you want to do black, that's great. If you want to experiment, you can do the gradient tool, and you'll notice once I click on my gradient tool, the top changes, is responsive to whatever I choose on the gradient. So I can even go to blues if I want to try a blue this time. I think I will do that actually. And then you can click and drag. I like this formula. You can click and drag and it will change it up as you change your different gradients. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this particular background. Okay, and then I'm going to make a new layer. Okay, from here I'm going to go to my text tool. I'm going to go to my text tool, and then I'm going to make this font on the very top. So change on the options to very large. Let's see, I'm going to start with like 150. I may have to go to larger. Actually, let me start with 175 points. And then I want to choose a font with some meat. You can choose Impact or Gaudy Stout if you don't have very many fonts downloaded. Just for some design purposes, I'll go with this particular font. I'm going to create a bounding box, and I'm going to go ahead and add SME. And now because I have a very small word, I'm going to need to make this a lot larger. So I'm going to highlight it all, and then I'm going to go ahead and make it very large. Now on the side note, if you do not love that dummy text came in, that all of that filler text came in, you can go up to Photoshop, down to Preferences to Type, Photoshop Preferences to Type, and then you can uncheck the box that says Fill New Type Layers with Placeholder Text. So uncheck that box, Fill New Type Layers with Placeholder Text, click OK, and that won't happen anymore. So what I did after is I went to my Move tool, and then I centered my SME. All right. So now we have a background layer, then we have a text layer, and now we're going to fill each letter in with an individual picture. So to do that, I have to go select it first. So I'm going to click and hold on my magic wand tool. You may be seeing this magic wand tool, or your object selection tool may be showing, but anyway, it's the fourth tool down on the left hand side, magic wand. Now look what happens when I click on the letter, and it's separated from the other letter, meaning my tracking is enough that it's separated. It only selects that particular letter. Okay, so that's our selection area is ready to go. Now we're ready to open a photo. We're going to go ahead and open a photo, and I'm going to go ahead and open this photo. Then I'm going to make a selection area. It's up to you how you make a selection area. Remember, we talked about the regular and the rectangular marquees. We've talked about all the lassos. We've also talked about object selection and quick selection. So it's up to you which selection tool that you create. So I'm going to make a selection by simply clicking and dragging around that selection I would like. From here, I'm going to go up to Edit, down to Copy, up to Edit, down to Copy. I can also do a Command C. Then I'm going to navigate back to my S that's still selected, and here's where the magic happens. Go up to Edit, down to paste special, and over to paste into. This is a really important part. Up to edit, down to paste special, over to paste into, and then click. And from here, you'll see that it stays, and ding, 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 guess what? We have a layer mask. We know this is our layer mask thumbnail. So I'm then gonna do a Command T, and I'm gonna resize to get the meat of my image. I can resize as appropriate. That looks pretty darn good. And then hit enter to commit that edit. Okay, now what I have to do is, here's probably the trick is if anything doesn't go right in Photoshop, you have to always check your layers panel. So what I want to do next is click back on my text layer. Now we're going to start on the M. So I clicked back on my text layer. I went to my magic wand tool. I clicked once. I'm going to file open another image. So many to choose from in my files, aren't there? This is a good one because it works with the landscape and the landscape of my M. Then I'm going to click open here. I will then go and make a selection area. Up to edit, down to copy, navigate back to my original document, making sure my M is still selected. Then I'm going to go edit, paste special, paste into, and voila. I'm going to make it a little larger, and then I'm going to pull him down. Even there we go. I really like that. And then I click enter, or click that check mark on the top to then commit that edit. Now I'm going to come back to my text layer, same gig, magic wand, select my E. Now I'm going to go open the picture, file open. Let's navigate to find, I think I had one more soccer pic in here, that'll work. Then click open, go to my selection area. This time I'll go to, why don't I do a different, I'll do a different selection area, see how that works. So that's going to be kind of cool. It might be different. Let's see what that looks like. File, copy, excuse me, edit copy. Navigate back to my good document, making sure my E is still selected. Edit, paste special, paste into. Oh, that looks cool. I really like that. This is an ode to Nick Parisi, I guess. And I have my name and pictures. Remember, I can switch and change and rearrange. I can make it larger, I can make it smaller, etc. Now, what I also wanted to tell you is that if you click back on this text layer, it's still a regular text layer. So we can even go down to our layer effects, which is on the layers panel, on the layer style, excuse me, on the F of X. Click on the F of X, open up that blending options box, click on the gray bar, move it over so we can see what it looks like. And if we click on the word bevel and emboss, it will allow us to make changes. But if we just click on the box, it will only apply what we currently have. So if I wanted to add a stroke, instead of just clicking on the box stroke, I click on the word stroke. And then instead of black, well, I guess I'll try black, see what this looks like. And I guess I'll go ahead and go layer by layer. Now I go, that's a little too, it's on the outside. So I'm going to go layer by layer. Oh, this is cool because it's putting it on the outside of there. So you can play around with all of these different options. Essentially, your layer style is going to go, once you click the box, that will apply it. If you click on the word, it will allow you to change and switch and change and rearrange. All right, well, here was a crash course in your name and pictures. You will create one project with your name and then one project with your choice. Have fun photoshopping.